G-Unit. We in here.
You don't bring back a legend unless it still means something. Time tested it. The streets remembered it. You can change the game, but you can't rewrite legacy. Some names never fade. They just wait for the right moment to remind everybody who started.
So in the hood, they say 50 made your sneaker look right, yo. Just can't believe Reebok did a deal with a psycho.
Yo, I say, man, you motherfucker. You motherfucker, you motherfucker, you motherfucker, yeah. It will go something like that.
We got some big news. The G-Unit sneakers are coming back, man.
Oh shit. Look at that. Okay.
Shout to Reebok.
Okay, let's go, Fib. Let's go, Fib.
I'm not wearing no Gucci, no Louis. Give me the G-Unit. These are smoothies, baby.
On top of that, Ricky goes on to troll 50 Cent, being that 50 said that he has new music dropping with Eminem, and also continues to troll him, basically saying that them G-Unit sneakers that 50's gonna drop are gonna fly.
Those G-Unit sneakers gonna be in Costco, baby. I like the Lloyd Banks ones better than all the other ones. The mother ain't even got no sneakers, but 50, give Lloyd Banks his own high top sneaker. And since the street ain't happening no more, you know what I'm saying? You can focus on the sneakers.
The beef between Rick Ross and 50 Cent just won't stay buried. After years of taking shots at each other, their rivalry is suddenly back in the spotlight, and this time, the drama is stretching way beyond rap. Ross is still sending jabs toward 50, while 50 continues building his business empire, pushing new projects and finding new ways to keep himself planted at the center of hip-hop conversations. And that's where things get interesting. This isn't simply two rappers arguing over music anymore. They're battling over business moves, social media attention, brands, reputation, and even legacy. At this point, almost anything one of them does can become another reason for the other to fire back.
I brought everybody to come, didn't tell nobody nothing what the meeting was for, no nothing when they came. So 50 just he come around the room, he started looking at everybody's shoes. I told him, look under the table, and I'm the only person wearing the G-Unit sneaker. He's got on Louis. Got on Gucci. Where the f is the Reebok? Banks had on Gucci, I had on Louis, Buck had on Fendi.
And you wasn't wearing it either.
Hell no. And now you understand why you don't actually get a check from Reebok no. Deal's over, guys. They had Reebok deals. Check might have been $180,000 for me. And then forgot to wear the shoes, so I stopped paying them. I could spend that money somewhere else. I could actually put it on the basketball.
The latest moment came after reports suggested Rick Ross's new album, Set in Stone, could move fewer than 26,000 copies in its opening week. 50 Cent wasted no time reacting online, clowning Ross and joking that he'd need to start promoting car shows and selling chicken wings. Just like that, an old rivalry had a brand new reason to explode. That's what keeps people locked into this feud. Whenever Ross makes noise, everybody waits to see when 50 will answer. And when 50 makes a move, the same thing happens in reverse. Ross also knows exactly how to turn one little remark into a whole conversation, which is why this back and forth keeps finding its way right back into the headlines.
50 Cent has been having a fucking ball.
I don't want a big house no more.
Because it's so long?
I don't care what's going on down there. I don't want to go over there, huh?
Love to share game with the young hustlers. I'm a boss, keeping it true to the culture. If I wanted to sell 250 the first week, you think Rose couldn't have played that game?
The second 50 Cent announces another business move, Rick Ross can flip that announcement into fresh drama almost instantly. One reaction, one slick joke, or one question about whether anybody actually cares, and suddenly the feud is alive again. But Ross is dealing with somebody who practically turned trolling into part of his brand. 50 has spent years figuring out exactly what gets under his rival's skin, so he rarely needs to go searching for controversy.
His first question, every meeting was, how many pairs we sell this week? We were selling like 50,000 per color at a time. And I remember that back to school, we sold like on one color, like a lot, like 75,000 pairs or something.
Blue Yankee fitted, G-Unit sneakers.
The G-Unit sneakers are coming back, man.
Shit. Yeah, okay.
Shout to you.
I can't tell you nothing.
That's why the renewed talk around G-Unit sneakers gives this rivalry a completely different flavor. This isn't another recycled debate about some old record or forgotten interview. Now they're playing with branding, history, and nostalgia, and that G-Unit name carries serious history. Back in the early 2000s, G-Unit wasn't just another rap crew. The brand was everywhere. 50 Cent had records dominating the airwaves, mixtapes flooding the streets, clothing getting attention, and his name constantly making headlines. So bringing the sneakers back doesn't just bring back a product, it brings people straight back to an era when 50's influence was massive. And Ross knows exactly what that era represents. That's why him clowning the sneaker comeback lands differently than some random celebrity joke. For years, Ross positioned himself as somebody willing to challenge 50's status, so seeing one of 50's most recognizable brands return gives him another opening to question the whole thing. Is 50 really reviving something iconic, or is he simply cashing in on memories from his biggest era?
Who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
I want to say to everyone, you know, that I hope that brother made it home safely. I hope that he now has a different perspective.
But here's the twist. Even the jokes can work in 50's favor. Every time Ross talks about those sneakers, more people start talking about G-Unit again. And that kind of attention is something 50 has understood for a long time. Even at the peak of his rap career, he wasn't moving like somebody focused only on records. He was already treating his fame like a business and looking for ways to turn attention into something much bigger.
He said, I see you raising money for your film ideas. You asked a close friend of mine. I saw the renderings, the drawings of what you believe your studio could be like in Shreveport. I'm gonna give you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come sit down at the table and present your ideas. I won't make you any promises. Men of business don't discuss the past. It's new money, I'll consider it. You know where I'm at financially. I could change your life.
50 Cent was never trying to make money from music alone. Records were only one piece of the bigger play. Clothes, sneakers, movies, endorsement deals. If there was a way to put the 50 Cent or G-Unit name in front of more people, he wanted in. That's exactly why the return of the G-Unit sneaker name instantly takes longtime fans back to that era.
Album of the year. All y'all niggas talking about bots, tell the bots to go get, when do the numbers come? I don't even know when the final numbers come out. Whatever my final numbers are, I'm gonna throw a party for them.
Rick Ross can roast the design and question whether the hype is real, but every comment still reminds people that 50 once had footwear attached to one of rap's biggest brands. And this is where Ross could accidentally help the very person he's trying to clown. The moment he posts a joke about those sneakers and thousands of people repost it, the product gets another wave of attention. Some fans who weren't even thinking about G-Unit shoes could suddenly be looking them up just to see what all the noise is about. That's the crazy game behind celebrity marketing today. Mockery, memes, debates, and online arguments can spread a product almost as fast as a traditional ad campaign.
Sorry. You saw that yet? I have to take care of that. Rick Ross got fucked.
Ain't nothing like when you spank a nigga. Spank them niggas. Nigga, if you an artist and them niggas were hating, spank them niggas with that motherfucking Whopper and cheese. Say, pussy nigga, y'all ain't wanna give me that.
Negative attention is still attention, and 50 has spent years showing that he knows how to turn internet chaos into promotion for his shows, tours, businesses, and other projects. Ross also gives the sneaker comeback something money can't easily buy, a storyline. Without this rivalry, people might see the shoes, remember the early 2000s, and keep scrolling. But once Ross jumps into the mix, those same sneakers suddenly become connected to one of hip-hop's longest-running battles. Now people aren't only debating the shoes, they're reopening the bigger question: who actually came out on top in the Ross and 50 feud? And that puts Ross in a tricky position. If he calls the sneakers outdated, 50 can turn the insult right back into content. If Ross questions the numbers, 50 can shift the conversation towards business. And if Ross claims nobody cares, 50 has the easiest comeback sitting right there. Ross cared enough to talk about them in the first place.
Look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
The album that he swore Drake was gonna flop, not this. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so after Rick Ross's album Set in Stone flopped, 50 Cent decided to speak out against it, which caused Ross to fire.
This is where 50 Cent's trolling gets slick. He doesn't necessarily have to convince everybody that Rick Ross is wrong. If he can get Ross talking, reacting, and putting the G-Unit name in front of millions of people, then Ross can end up becoming part of the promotion without even meaning to. That's what makes their styles so different, even though they're playing a similar game. Ross leans into jokes, luxury, confidence, and those smooth little jabs meant to make his opponent look small. 50 goes another route. Screenshots, trolling, business numbers, and responses designed to keep the internet talking. The sneakers might be sitting in the middle of this latest clash, but the bigger attraction is still Rick Ross versus 50 Cent. After all these years, people are still picking sides.
You know what I'm saying, Rose, how you feel about what 50 said? What the? I said, what did 50 say? Excuse me, before you mention what 50 said, let me ask how's it going over there in Shreveport? You borrowed all them people money. Did you return their money back? And cause Shreveport ain't give you the loans you was looking for.
Happy birthday.
And once Ross reportedly started taking aim at the sneaker conversation, a simple brand rollout suddenly had another layer of drama attached to it. Instead of letting the G-Unit name return without interference, Ross seemingly saw an opening to turn those shoes into another chapter of their personal battle. That approach fits Ross perfectly. He can look at a throwback product and spin it into a question about whether his rival is moving forward or reaching backward for an old moment. Because of their long history, fans aren't going to hear that as some innocent fashion review. Coming from Ross, almost any criticism of 50 can sound like another calculated shot.
Ricky Rose album, buddy. They better, hey, and when y'all review Ricky Rose album, hey man. Had to put albums out because if it flopped, that's all they ever had to lay on. Rose ain't got that issue, baby. I could just lean back like that.
And in hip-hop, fashion can become personal very quickly. Image has always mattered. An artist can have successful music, but once social media decides an outfit, sneaker, or brand looks dated, the memes can start flying within minutes. Ross understands that image game extremely well. His persona has long centered on expensive cars, massive properties, flashy watches, and a larger-than-life boss lifestyle. So when Ross acts like 50's G-Unit sneakers don't impress him, he's creating a very specific contrast. Ross wants the conversation centered on modern luxury while painting 50's move as a throwback. But there's one problem with that strategy. Nostalgia can hit hard. For fans who actually lived through G-Unit's peak, those sneakers aren't simply an old pair of shoes. They're connected to an entire era.
You know, you attacking Rick Ross.
And is it me attacking Rick Ross or is it Rick Ross attacking me?
But why would you even respond to a Rick Ross?
Why ignore it when I could destroy him and create a portfolio of dead bodies?
But you
that indicate to artists it's not cool to try and compete when you're not ready. Well, I could be above the culture, and then you'll know what you'll say. Because of my financial success, you'll say, "Oh, he feels like he's bigger than everything else." This there.
But you haven't destroyed Rick Ross's career.
What's Rick Ross' last album? Triple C's. You know how many copies that record sold?
No.
4,000 copies.
For longtime fans, those G-Unit sneakers unlock way more than memories of footwear. They bring back the mixtape run, oversized jerseys, classic videos, massive records, and that unmistakable early 2000s energy when 50 Cent seemed impossible to ignore. So while Rick Ross might be trying to make the sneakers look outdated, he could accidentally be reminding everybody just how powerful the G-Unit movement once was.
As I said on my story yesterday, 22,000 the first week, 20 the second week. Those drastic fall-offs, guys, that you see with a lot of those other artists is when the numbers are inflated. The bots, to me, the new flex is no bots. Keep it genuine, keep it pure. Let the music fight any battles. You understand? Come on now, this the biggest boss. I'm letting niggas know. Do the long game, baby. That's how we hustling, that's how we winning.
There's another twist here too. Every time Ross keeps the sneaker conversation alive, 50 gets the option to sit back and look like the businessman who's focused on his next move. If Ross keeps throwing jabs while 50 continues promoting projects and making deals, the optics can start making Ross seem more interested in keeping the rivalry going. But nobody should mistake silence for 50 being finished. His entire online reputation says otherwise. He can go from saying absolutely nothing to dropping one brutal meme, resurfacing an old Ross clip, or posting a sarcastic caption that completely flips the conversation.
He did drop Set in Stone recently, but he only did 22,000. 50 Cent has been having a fucking ball.
I spent it to you, right? Nothing else works. For him, outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me. It gets covered further. Look at it. What kind of rich nigga cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass?
That unpredictability is exactly why people keep checking for his response. At this stage, sneakers are just the latest arena. Their feud has already traveled through records, interviews, business moves, social media exchanges, and plenty of personal jabs. Ross knows that once 50 decides to respond online, he rarely handles it like a standard celebrity disagreement. You're probably not getting a polite, "I disagree." Instead, 50 tends to search for whatever angle will get the biggest reaction and make his rival the center of the joke. That's why the second Ross says something about G-Unit, fans start watching 50's page. One picture, one throwback video, one comparison between their businesses, or one perfectly timed caption can drag years of history straight back onto everybody's timeline.
I want to go viral this morning, so Curtis, I ain't finished with you. I saw you making excuses of why you was kicked off the shows, blamed it on the black woman. She's the creator, she wrote it. It's her show. Ghost was her show, Kanan was her show. She gave you $3,500 an episode. Just to do little posts and all that. Be loyal to the black woman the way you are to Eminem. She gave you an opportunity.
And social media has made that cycle ridiculously fast. Back in the day, rappers might answer each other through a new track, freestyle, magazine interview, or radio appearance. Today, Ross can post a jab from his phone, and 50 can fire back before the internet has even finished reacting to the original comment.
Social media has turned this feud into something that moves at crazy speed. A tiny jab can become a full internet event before the day is even over. Ross fans jump in, 50 supporters answer back, meme pages grab the funniest moments, and suddenly a conversation that started with sneakers has millions of eyes on it. And that's where Ross joking about an old G-Unit brand can take an unexpected turn.
You know what, I'm behind the bar, I'm Lord Vader. #1 premium rum in the world. And I want to pour you a shot. Yeah, you. I want to pour you a shot of Bumble rum. I got a question. Would you rather have Paddy's in your size, enjoy your entire bottle of Luke Belaire conversating business with the boss, or listening to the vinyl with Ricky Rose and taking your autographed CD home? What would you rather have?
50 can easily stop talking about how the sneakers look and start talking about something much bigger: ownership, longevity, and business. Both men have built careers that stretch far beyond the recording booth. 50 moved heavily into television, film, touring, and other ventures, while Ross expanded into restaurants, real estate, partnerships, and multiple brands. So the minute Ross questions one of 50's business moves, fans aren't just comparing sneakers anymore. They start comparing empires. Who made the smarter investments? Who created more opportunities outside music? Who turned fame into something that could survive after the biggest records stopped dominating the charts? And Ross already knows numbers are one of 50's favorite weapons. Sales, ratings, ticket numbers, reach, money. 50 regularly brings those kinds of receipts into an argument.
Rose, Set in Stone, the album of the year. Speaking to the true hip-hop lovers. Never get caught up in the propaganda. Go to the product. Rose putting the dope music out. That's who fight my battles. Don't never come to the table with premeditated hate. When I was a young hustler, I bought Tupac and Big. It was about the music, and that's what it's about now. You gotta remember, since day one, when I was doing $1 million the first week, I was doing 150. 20 years later, here we are.
That means a joke about whether some sneakers look fresh can quickly become a much deeper debate about who actually built the stronger business machine. That's also why neither side seems willing to completely kill the rivalry. Ross can throw a slick comment, 50 can troll him, Ross can laugh and send another jab, and then 50 searches for a completely different angle. It becomes an endless loop. Nobody officially closes the book because there's always another post capable of bringing the whole thing back. But once music gets pulled into this conversation, the temperature changes again.
Lawsuit shit like that. 50 Cent sued me before his ass kicked him to sleep in court, sent him back home. He was poor. When we pulled up his banking accounts, I felt bad for him.
He did drop Set in Stone recently, but he only did 22,000. 50 Cent has been having a fucking ball. Posted Ross, he says, Ross hits a new chart low with his new album. He says, LOL, I'm sorry.
Recent online chatter has included material reportedly being referred to as Fightland, with 50 Cent's name appearing in discussions alongside major hip-hop figures like Eminem and Tupac. The details surrounding that material shouldn't be presented as confirmed unless there's official verification, but the names alone are enough to get people talking. Because once 50 Cent, Eminem, and Tupac enter the same discussion, this stops being only about throwback sneakers. Ross has built a respected catalog of his own, but 50's history with Eminem represents a major chapter in rap. Eminem, alongside Dr. Dre, played an important role in bringing 50 onto one of the biggest stages in mainstream hip-hop. That history still carries weight today. Whenever potential music-related material puts 50 and Eminem back into the conversation, it reminds a younger audience that 50 isn't remembered only for G-Unit merchandise or an old sneaker line. His career is tied to some of the biggest names, records, and moments from an unforgettable era of hip-hop.
Put Drake at your level.
Of course not. He's a minion. You can't be afraid of a response from a minion.
Would it ever happen with you and 50 sitting down having a conversation? History, the beef?
What kind of history? That he couldn't dress? That's all I used to tell him. Yo, you can't dress. You're not really getting no money. You don't own your masters.
Now this rivalry is colliding with something even bigger than sneakers: legacy. Rick Ross reached his strongest mainstream years after 50 Cent's explosive early 2000s takeover, and their conflict eventually became one of hip-hop's most recognizable long-running feuds. Years later, 50 can revive the G-Unit sneaker name while also using television, film, music, and his connections to rap history to put his era right back in front of a new generation. Ross, meanwhile, can point towards his own longevity. He continued releasing music and building his brand long after 50's original G-Unit explosion, which gives Ross a completely different argument about staying power. But there's an important detail here. Fans shouldn't treat any supposed new Tupac collaboration or anything circulating under the name Fightland as confirmed unless the people officially connected to that material verify it. Still, just putting names like Tupac, Eminem, and 50 Cent into the same conversation is enough to shake things up. Ross can joke about sneakers all day, but music changes the stakes. Shoes create memes, records create arguments about careers, influence, and legacy. Once those legendary names get mentioned beside G-Unit history, fans immediately start comparing generations again. And Ross apparently wasn't impressed by the music talk at all. After 50 discussed the possibility of releasing material connected to Tupac and Eminem, Ross appeared to mock the idea, especially when Pac's name entered the picture. His reaction was basically, Tupac is dead 30 years. Eminem, come on, Curtis. In only a few words, Ross turned what could have been ordinary music speculation into another heated chapter of their rivalry. The Tupac angle is obviously the complicated part. Pac died in 1996, meaning any newly released collaboration featuring his voice would necessarily involve archival, previously recorded, or unreleased vocals, not a present-day studio session. That appears to be exactly why Ross questioned what 50 was actually suggesting. Instead of treating the possibility like some massive announcement, Ross used the moment to throw another slick jab at Curtis Jackson. But Eminem is a completely different situation. 50 and Eminem have a long documented history together. Eminem, alongside Dr. Dre, helped bring 50 into the shady Aftermath machine, and 50 and Eminem have collaborated multiple times since. So the possibility of 50 working with Eminem again isn't exactly coming out of nowhere. Even so, Ross apparently brushed that part aside too with, Eminem? Come on, Curtis. That comment hits harder because Ross didn't need some long explanation. The dismissive tone did all the work. And this is where their history makes everything messier. Ross and 50 have spent so many years taking shots at each other that almost any comment can become another viral exchange. Both understand how quickly controversy grabs attention, so Ross wasn't merely reacting to potential music. He appeared to be questioning whether 50's talk deserved to be taken seriously in the first place. But there's another possibility that Ross can't completely joke away. If 50 legitimately has access to authorized unreleased Tupac material and somehow brings Eminem into the project, the reaction could be enormous.
Tupac's legacy remains deeply influential. Eminem is one of the most commercially successful rappers in history, and 50 has repeatedly shown that he knows how to turn public curiosity into headlines. So Ross might be laughing right now, but imagine what happens if Curtis actually delivers something fans connect with. That would instantly shift the conversation from jokes about old sneakers and questionable hype to a much bigger debate about 50's ability to create another major hip-hop moment. Until anything official drops, though, speculation is still speculation, and that leaves one question for everybody watching. Did Rick Ross have a point when he clowned 50 over the Tupac and Eminem talk, or is he laughing a little too early? Drop your take in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe, share it with somebody who follows hip-hop, and stay tuned for more of the stories keeping the culture talking.